Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid, just going to learn to Bitcoin. Big of the CoinsKid crew. So thank you for your support, thank you for liking the videos, and thank you, to just being here, taking the time out and commenting on these videos as well. So I do try and clean the comment system up, but it's quite difficult. There's a lot of spam in the comments, but I do go through it and try and clean it up for you. And then obviously I'm going to try and answer some questions as well. So I get so many questions, and it's difficult for me to answer each one of them, but I will introduce them into the videos every day if I can, okay? And, thank you for your support. So let's dive into the comments right now. So diving into some of the comments, and as always, great quality content. Thank you very much for that. Some of the best here in YouTube. Always look forward to your analysis. Thank you. I'm not a trader, so should I just buy and now and hold? I remember a few weeks ago that you said we had a buy and go to the beach signal. So is it safe for non-traders to put money in for the long run? So basically that particular signal, a buy and go to the beach signal, was at 20 and a 55 EMA golden cross. They are like rocking horse shit on Bitcoin and stocks and risks and things like that. Now the S&P 500 printed one in May, I think it was, and I brought it to your attention, and that was fruitful at that point. Okay, so nothing I say is financial advice. Please remember that all I do is relay the data, but so far so good. That particular signal has not failed Bitcoin. If it does fail it going forward, then something's broken, something's wrong, and obviously it's a precursor. If you start to fall under that and it's no longer printing it, then something's broken in the charts right there for Bitcoin, and it's historically not looking to hold it. But so far so good. We have to respect the data, and the data suggests that particular signal, with the S&P 500 as well, has always been a good signal to just enter Bitcoin at that point, or the S&P 500, and it's always yielded a return at least a year to 2 years later. So it's a good little signal, but how reliable is it going forward? Well, at the minute it's got 100% strike rate on Bitcoin especially, but on the S&P 500 the last time it failed was in the 50s. There's been 18 instances of that particular signal since then. So again, this is always something I try and relay to you. It's data, not emotion. Try and just respect the data if you can, and obviously if we begin to break down and lose that, then the data is telling us that isn't true anymore. Okay, so going forward, yeah, it's just a good signal that we printed on a few charts, to be honest with you. So will it hold? Honestly, it's a flip of a coin, but I like to respect the data and signals, and this is what I relay to you. So yeah, for me, I think Bitcoin, regardless of what's happening, I think it is a good thing to hold for the future. Basically, it just depends how long you've got, how much patience have you got for Bitcoin, because I know in times in the history when it's going down and things like that, it just never feels like an opportunity, although when you look back in time it absolutely was. This guy here, thanks. Big up CoinsKid. I've asked before, just wondering, do you still like VeChain? Yes, I do. I do like VeChain. Thanks for that, Matty boy. I do like VeChain. I think it's sort of in the bottoming out process. I'm looking at some levels right there. I do have some bids a little bit lower. I definitely do need to make a video on VeChain. I'll bring that to your attention soon, okay? Thanks for all. You're welcome. I think it's a bull trap, and I think we're going to 23 to 20k before we hit the target of 47k. This is absolutely possible, obviously, but what I like to do is counter the 5 waves down. So look at that today. I think we might have a leading diagonal off that bottom that we put in a couple of weeks ago. Now, one thing that's not happening at the moment is the DXY is not necessarily breaking down. So this particular thing that you're talking about, a bull trap, could actually be true. So we'll keep an eye on that. There's no bias. If we do start to lose that low that we put in a couple of weeks ago, well, it's about a month ago almost, isn't it? On September 11th, I think it was. Then obviously we definitely head into 20 to 23k. Probably lower. Probably might even tap that low that we put in November last year, to be honest with you, and create a massive monster double bottom, or the fact that we lose that low, and all the perma bears like Savvy and people like that are absolutely right. But in a minute we have come up in 5 waves, so this is something we've got to respect. Okay, respect the trend. You did a few videos on Firo a few years ago. I have a small bag. Do you think it's dead or the lows are in? I personally still have my Firo, to be honest with you. I think it's a great technology. I really like Firo, but they do say you should never marry coins, but I do think Firo's got upside in it. I think it's due a big retracement, to be honest with you, and it could just be one of them coins that eventually plays catch up for the CoinsKid crew right there. So yeah, Firo for me is a buy. I do still dabble in Firo. I do buy a bit. In actual fact, I did buy some the other day, to be honest with you, so I'm adding to my bag. I need to like that. Thanks you, Moto Fit. Rockets, what's that? Smiley face, thank you very much. Have you spoken to old mate Savvy recently? Bless him. His technical analysis is half decent. You know, one thing he doesn't do is very, very biased in his analysis. Okay, whether it's to the upside or down, it's primarily down. I never see him talking about upside, to be honest with you. But what we like to do on this channel, we like to ride the waves. We have our macro views, but we also equally ride the waves on a daily basis. For example, there was a beautiful little opportunity yesterday to catch a bid on Bitcoin. I did post this on Twitter, you know, and I know a lot of people did take advantage of that. Busting a move left my ass off. Where is the dialect from? Leicester, UK. What happened to B-Chain? You used to cover it all the time. I'm going to start covering it again. It is an amazing project, but obviously, you know, when it's sort of going sideways and tapping lows and things like that, it gets a little bit boring. So I like to cover coins that are looking quite volatile and explosive, you know, whether they're up or down. And this is why I do tend to cover Bitcoin, especially XRP as well. So you used to cover it all the time, and I will start covering it again. You bloody epic latte, oi. This guy, Rene Montenegro, he's been with me from the start. Credit to you for still tuning in. Thank you for, you know, continually writing the same comment over and over. You know, I always like his comments. Thank you for that. I'm sure he's from Australia or something. Take care, and thank you for, you know, tuning in. You think it will come and retest a breakout of 27,300 before heading up? This is one of your God candle backtest thingamajigs. Wow, you know, you nailed it. You called this when 19 hours ago. I posted this on Twitter last night about 6 o'clock just before I went football, and it absolutely come down and tapped that. Look at that, beautiful. So yeah, you're paying attention. Well done, Tony, Adam. You know, you've got it, the God candle backtest. So Bitcoin was looking like it was correcting, and I posted a tweet, and there was a level there that it had broken out of an ascending triangle, and it hadn't back tested the resistance. So right now it's come back and tapped that support. That was a beautiful little bounce, you know. And this is basically, if you can catch these little bounces, put little bids in, stop loss below, it'll always bounce there and come up, and then pay yourself. You know, this is what we do. Go short, go long, bounce on a daily basis into them God candles. You can see them on any time frame. So this guy Tony is paying attention. You called it before it happened. Well done. Thank you for that. So yeah, just some comments I replied to in regards to VeChain and Firo. You know, for me, if we do start to see Bitcoin putting in this blow off top, which is a theory I've got, you know, leading into 2024, and obviously, you know, we most definitely want to see the DXY rolling if we're expecting this, and at the minute it's breaking out again. So there's some kind of correlation, inverse correlation that's lost at the moment, but we definitely want to see the DXY give us that clue. If it breaks down and we see the S&P 500 hold them lows and it starts to come up and takes out the local high that it put in July, I think, wow, you know, then your VeChain, your Firos, they're all going to pop basically. But again, nothing I say is financial advice. So anyway, if not, then obviously we're in a larger cycle and it's just drawn out and things like that. But, you know, I try and do my best to find any analysis to any kind of, you know, upside or downside on a daily basis for you. Thank you for the comments today. I'll take a look at today's comments on today's video tomorrow with you, okay? And thanks for support. Thank you for tuning in. Let's dive into the Bitcoin chart right now. So yesterday, just before I went football, I did make this little tweet, and we've got this rising channel, haven't we? There's resistance just there, and then we've got the RSI just there coming down like that as well. So we've got resistance in the RSI coming down, we've got resistance in the candles going up. So that's a bearish divergence, okay? And at that point, we've started to come down. We've got the big drop, sort of losing the 20 down there, and then boom, you know, we're looking at that level of resistance to be backtested as support and minimal target. So Bitcoin actually come down there and bounce. So these are always little opportunities. At that point, if you've seen this, you go short with your stop loss on the swing high, ride it all the way down, TP at that profit point just there, and then obviously counter that with a long basically, and catch a little bid to come back up. So we'll dive into charts in a minute, but if I do spot anything, I'll always post it, and I'm so glad that guy he actually posted it before it happened. So, you know, he's got a crystal ball. Well done. So let's dive into the Bitcoin chart right now and see what we can see. So look at Bitcoin on the daily time frame. We've got a potential bump and run pattern here, the 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and right now we're rallying to resistance and we broke out. You know, you can clearly see on the bump and run, you run into that resistance and you come back. So right now we're sort of conforming to that particular bump and run pattern here. What we've done, we've got the breakout here. Initially ran into this leg of resistance, come back in a high low, and we're broken out again, and we ran into that leg of resistance, which is this God candle just here, this back test, okay? So we've come up and had the God candle back test on the daily. You know, that's a big tick to that being complete right now. So right now we're looking to maintain a series of high lows here and a potential new uptrend for Bitcoin after this whopping downtrend, you understand? So what we're looking to do is break this high. I think if we start to break that high, we've got 5 ways, haven't we? We've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got potential leading diagonal on the break here. So we're looking for this at Bitcoin. Obviously, you know, we're looking to break that high. That's your key high at the moment. So again, you know, if you are long on Bitcoin, I would most definitely be looking to move my stops up on that low right now. So we've been building positions with our stops down here. This is your macro low. But for me right now, that's a good area to put your stops at 25960. So again, you know, if we get the break to the upside, you know, for Bitcoin, and we continue and we get to that sort of 47k mark right there, which is a technical target I think Bitcoin's actually in on the macro. macro, okay, and remember there's no guarantees, but if we are looking to get to that, then from this point here, again, you know, a few weeks ago I was showing you a minimal risk trade. Right now you could be looking at a potential 6% loss from this point for a potential 64% gain. You know, it was only this point last week we were sort of floating in this sort of area. At the minute Bitcoin is up, let me drop that down to that macro low. We was looking at this potential scenario last week when we were coiling up on this resistance, a potential 6.8% loss for a potential gain of around about, what is that, 77% right there for Bitcoin. Okay, so you know, at the minute that particular trade that I shown you last week, because of consolidation on the resistance, it's been fruitful. You know, it's broke out. So again, this is why I always show you the stop loss. So right now there's a stop loss here. That's your stop loss. That's your new stop loss. From this point right here, you could be looking at around about 6% loss for a 72% trade long going forward. Again, this is risk management. If you're prepared to take that loss, then it's definitely worth executing, isn't it? Sort of minimal risk for, you know, high reward right there. So again, there's no guarantees, and this is why I always show you the sort of stop loss to put in place to negate this particular move. Okay, so right now it might be an opportunity to just build positions on buy bit, get entirely up to you with your stop loss down here on this swing low, basically, because it negates this bullish impulse that we're potentially looking at. And obviously if it rolls, you get stopped out, and it's the risk taken basically, and it really is that simple. So again, what we're looking for Bitcoin, I think, you know, could begin to get quite bullish right here, is if we take out this local high that we ran into this resistance. Okay, so at the minute I love the fact that Bitcoin runs into resistance, comes back. I would be more dubious if you broke out like that. Okay, like I said to you, you'd be looking for the support, but you know, I love the fact that Bitcoin conforms to these God candles like an absolute boss. So at the minute we sort of come back into this God candle, we're consolidating a range. If Bitcoin is indeed bullish, it should find support in theory, not lose this white trend line, this is level support, and then attack that white line once more. And what we've got as a potential scenario is a leading diagonal off this low. We've got the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5. If we start to see that, you got 5 waves, and then again we'd have to look for a correction coming back and then go, something like that. Okay, so again, nothing I say is financial advice, but at the minute, you know, Bitcoin, it's not looking too bearish, to be honest with you. I know we've had this massive sort of crash here coming down, but if we get some kind of 5-wave structure here, you know, we're getting clues in the charts right there, and the opportunities that we've been taking since way back down here are just going to be fruitful going forward. But I always show you where you should have your stops to invalidate this particular move. Okay, so that's basically Bitcoin. Hope you enjoyed that update. But you know, right now, if we take a look on the hourly time frame, see if we can spot anything right here for Bitcoin. You know, we've got this pullback right now into the ascending triangle. So look at that, you've got your resistance just there. See that? Resistance, you caught up, ascending triangle, you broke out, and right now you come back. So at the moment, you know, you could say, okay, well, this is a bullish impulse, and right now you're looking to retrace back to it. So in theory, we could just drop the fibs on from this level of resistance just there all the way back down to that low. You can clearly see at the moment we've found support on the 382. So if this is a micro ABC correction like this, okay, and we've got sort of, you know, this is your wave 4, so there's your A, you come up in a B, and then you've got a C wave. This trend line right here on the golden ratio at 26947 might be the, you know, the end of the wave 4 correction before the final 5th wave up to that white trend line again. So we'll keep an eye on this. At the moment, this is a potential A wave. Let's take a look. Possible A wave coming back up in a B wave. Everyone gets super bullish, and then you drop again towards that white trend line, you know, over the next sort of week or so for Bitcoin. Grind out this wave 4 correction, something like that on the golden ratio at 26947. And again, you know, again, if we start to come down and we lose this trend line, that in itself will start to look quite bearish, won't it? But we have got this kind of rising channel at the moment, potential 1, 2, 3 ABC 4, and then final 5th wave up here on the white trend line, breaking that high, 5 waves, absolutely possible. And again, I remind you, if Bitcoin does something like this, breaks down, loses this white trend line, it's going to start to look quite bearish. And most importantly, if we start to fall back into this white trend line, wow. And then obviously if we lose that, then that's your macro support at the moment for me for Bitcoin. This is why, you know, building positions at this point here with your stop on this swing low is basically a risk management trade, right, going forward. So I hope you enjoyed that update. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Take care, everyone. Back to another update on Bitcoin. Thank you. Bye bye.